And then when I got to spend her last moments with her, she, man, her last request was turn up the music. And so I turned up the music on this little 13-inch screen TV that she had in her room, and she danced.
Real Talk with Star Scorpio. My guest today is a proud Newfoundlander, and he was a house guest on Big Brother Canada 11. And he happened to win the most popular house guest, which I know why, because he was a favorite in my household as well. His relationship with Hope was amazing to see. We're going to get into his life before Big Brother, during Big Brother, and after Big Brother. Jonathan, welcome to Real Talk with Star Scorpio. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm happy to be here. I'm super pumped to be on the podcast, man. I'm thankful that you had me. I'm just super excited to dive in and get into the questions and have some fun with it for sure.
Yes, let's go, bro. Yes, people don't know, but before I started recording, man, I was like, I really appreciate Jonathan for doing this. I reach out to a lot of people, and from jump, he was excited. And yeah, I always say I found another brother now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Jonathan, on Real Talk, we like to build a timeline first, right? So first, let the people know, where were you born and raised?
Well, I was born in St. John's, Newfoundland. I was raised in a small community called Southern Harbor. It's like outskirts of Newfoundland, Royal Newfoundland. I think population was like 1,000 people when I was growing up. Very small community, hardworking community. White knuckle, blue collar. So I grew up, working, being around hardworking men and women like my mom and my dad. So work ethic was instilled into me early on. So yeah, just raised in a very small community. I loved it. I'm proud of it, and happy to be from where I'm come from. So yeah, man, it's a little piece of me and bit where I come from, and yeah, so it was it's really cool to look back on, and because I don't get out home very much where I grew up to, but definitely a good upbringing for sure.
One of my good friends, Jim, he was on my podcast. He was a police officer here. And I had his wife on as well. And she said she grew up in a small town. So is it the same for you, where everyone knew everyone, the parents knew the kids and everything like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, is everyone knew everybody, like
Mhm.
literally, legitimately. Like, I mean, and I guess that is something you don't see much of these days. Is
Mhm.
like living in a town where each who lives in each and every house. It was
Yeah.
definitely special because, like, I mean, a small community like that, it's not like you live in a community, just live there. It's like you're part of it. You're part of that community. You're part of a big family. Like it's definitely something special. And I didn't realize it until later in life, and I moved out of the community and moved on. But
Mhm.
looking back, it's super special because, like, it, no matter what you needed, if you were building a deck, there's going
Yeah.
to be three or four people show up to help you just because they want to. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's something like that's very special. And
Mhm.
you know what? I kind of got that on the show, like the Big Brother show.
Yeah.
Uh, like now, like since the show has ended, if it makes sense, like I feel closer to all the house guests a little bit more so because like we
Right.
all are one big family and we're there for each other. We support each other in all our success,
Mhm.
and especially my guy Hope. Like I mean, like we legitimately feel like brothers now. And like
Yeah.
we were on the show for I think it was like 60 something days, 70 days, whatever it was. But I
Mhm.
feel like I know him my whole life. So it's
Yeah.
cool.
It's that amount of time you spend with that person,
Oh,
eh? In
every
solitude, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
and that's the thing. Like in life now, you got your phone, you got distractions everywhere, like TV, business. Like your life just becomes very distracting. And on the show, it kind of takes all that away.
Yeah.
So besides gaming, you literally spend all this time with people and get
Mhm.
to know them. Like it's definitely something special. I can't
Mhm.
sing its praises. Because I came out of it with lifelong friendships for sure.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because even the guests that I've had on, like the Tyshawn, Kevin Jacobs,
Yeah.
Tara, Hope, now you, I'm getting that sense. And when I used to, I'm a fan of Big Brother from back in the day. So America, and then I loved when Canada started.
Oh yeah.
But you see the drama. We're gonna get into that talk in a minute later on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you see the drama in the house, and you have anger towards someone, resentment, and someone voted you out. I thought you were my friend, but
Yeah.
I can understand what you're saying, because when you're outside of the house, that experience is only shared by a small number of people in Canada, and you have that now, right?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, man. Even past seasons, like I feel connected to them, you know. So like there's a conversation there that only us can have, and it's definitely special. I don't take it for granted, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sweet, man. Okay, now small town. You mentioned to me before this started, you have a brother. Is you only have one sibling?
I too.
You have two
I'm
brothers.
the middle.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
the middle child. Okay.
I'm the middle child, bro.
How
Yeah.
did that feel growing up?
You know, it felt great. I mean, at the time, probably not so much. I had an older brother who my older brother is quite a big man. He's like 6'8", 350 pounds. Like he's always been a really big guy.
Yeah.
And I got a younger brother. So, and being the middle kid, like I feel like I got the best of both worlds because I got to develop relationships with both of them. I'm close with both of them. Where two of them are pretty spaced out age wise, I've got to have a relationship with both of them. So I'm very appreciative of that. Sometimes being the middle kid can sound like it sucks,
Yeah.
but it definitely comes with its pros too. So yeah, it's cool, man. I love it.
You know why I say that too? I forgot who I was speaking to. I've had so many guests on. They said they were the middle child. But
Yeah.
also the reason I'm saying this, first, let me age you though. How old are you?
I'm 33.
33. Okay, I'm 49. I grew up with a show called The Brady Bunch, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that middle child on with the girls and the boys, they were always like the mischievous ones, or something happened to them, or they felt left out. They were the middle
Yeah.
child. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
for sure.
so I like to ask that question. And
I feel
I'm glad you said your brother's height. So
yeah.
you said he's 6'8", and again, you told me before we started. Tell me how tall you are.
6'5".
6'5".
Yeah,
Now,
roughly. Yeah.
yo, giant man. Okay. And what I like to know too, I want to get into school for a minute, but let's stick on your height for a minute. So
Yeah.
when I interview, I always say this on the podcast when it has to do with height. I interviewed a professional dunker. His name is Chris Staples. And he's 6'2". And I said, hey, were you a late bloomer, or were you always tall? And I asked my friend whose daughter plays basketball. And then,
Yeah.
people have different stories. They shoot up. And I know people who grew late in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tell me, when you shot up, or were you always tall?
I think I was always tall, man. Like I was every picture I look at of elementary, like I was always sky,
Yeah.
like towering over everybody. My older brother, who's 6'8", I
Yeah.
think he was in grade 11, and
Mhm.
I think he grew like 6, 7 inches. Like it was
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
spurt. He wasn't always tall. And then just one day he woke up and he was like 6'8". So
Yeah.
but yeah, I've always been tall. I've always been that tall guy, and which when in early ages, like you kind of feel like you're an outcast because you're tall, because you know what I mean. Like you're that big kid. You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So I'm very thankful for it now.
You're taller than your dad, aren't you?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Dad
Yeah.
was like 6'1". Mm.
Yeah. 6'1". Wow. What about your mom? How tall is she? How tall is she?
Oh man, she was very small. She was like 5'1", 5'2".
Are you
Very,
serious?
but she was the leader of the pack. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? She
Hmm.
was the small one, but she had a big personality, big energy. Where
Hmm.
we're all big guys, we're laid back. Mom was the leader.
Nice to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, now school, Jonathan. How were you in school? Like, what subjects did you excel in? I like to get that history of my
Oh
guests.
well, gym was my thing.
You tell me about it.
I killed it in gym class, bro. Like I
Yeah.
killed it. But honestly, man, like I'm gonna be real with you. Like school was never really my strong suit.
Mm,
I struggled a lot through school. I worked hard. I had to work hard for my grades, everything I did get.
yeah.
Uh, I was always like an athlete coming up, but so I really had to focus, which came relatively easy to me.
Hmm.
But schoolwork and like especially like math and like English and like and biology and all those things, I really had to focus in and work hard at. But
Yeah.
you know what? I got it. I got my high school and stuff like that. So looking back at it, if it had to come easy, maybe I wouldn't have appreciated it as much as I do. But I really had to put in that effort. Yeah.
Yeah. And that translates in life too, eh? Like even on the Big Brother show, you put in the effort, and your job, you put in that effort, and then you appreciate what comes out of that. Even relationships, as you know, too, right?
Oh man,
Yeah,
it's like anything easy is not worth having. If it's worth having, it's worth working for. You know what I mean? So like you really gotta, the things that are most appreciated in life are the things you work hard for. So like and like goals. Like I mean, people wake up, they got ambitions and aspirations and like and goals, and like if they woke up and someone handed it to them, they'd be like, okay, this is cool. But if you
mhm.
wake up and work every day and put your best foot forward, and one day you wake up and you accomplished it, well, it's different, right? So.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
so true. You know, one thing I struggled with in life is I never knew what I wanted to do, man. I've had so many jobs in my life.
Yeah.
And some kids, like when they were teenagers, they knew what they wanted to go to university for or college for, where I just took business, but I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
For you, did you know what you want to do, or is there a career or occupation in Newfoundland that most kids go into?
Man, honestly, I still don't know what I want to do. I still feel like I'm growing up and figuring it out. And I'm
Yeah,
33 years old. And I
yeah.
might never figure it out, but I'm definitely going to wake up every day and try to figure it out and work hard to get there.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, man, like, well, little piece of me is like when I was 20 years old, I had my son, Liam, who's now 13. But
Yeah.
when he was born, priority number one was just to make money whatever way I could, and just work hard at making money and try to build a life, which I did, and I accomplished it. I have a home in a nice area. My son goes to a good school. We got a good group of friends, and that was my goal at the time. Because when I was 20 years old, I had nothing. All I had was a bed and a cot in my mom's basement. So my goal was to just grab the best paying job, whatever it was, and work hard at it. So I
Mhm.
did that. Now I'm a journeyman tradesman, journeyman heat frost insulator. I've worked all over Canada, offshore, everywhere. Made good money,
Mhm.
but all due respect to the trade and that life, it wasn't for me. But it was just something I've done and been doing to make money to support my family and my son. But even me going on to Big Brother, that was me taking a risk, a chance. That was me
Yeah.
saying, you know what, it's time to, because I lost my mom, my dad. I was like, tomorrow isn't guaranteed. So, right now is the time to chase dreams. And that's what I did. Was I chased the dream, and I ended up on the show, and here I am talking to you about it. So like, this is a dream, this is part of a dream come true. So why not work hard at something I want to do now? Because, I've accomplished some goals. Now it's time to chase more.
Mhm.
So I'm still figuring it out, man. I'm still trying to, navigate the waters and, put my, you know, dip my feet in different types of waters and, test the water a little bit. And so to sum it up, I'm still trying to figure it out, man. Still trying to
Yeah.
grow up.
Yeah, you know what, John, thanks for sharing that. Like some people got to hear it too. That's why I do the podcast too, so people can hear other
Yeah.
people's stories, and thanks for sharing that.
Oh,
And yeah, and the journey's never ends, right? You just keep plugging away.
and that's the beauty of it, man. That's the thing. Like people are so focused on their destination, like, oh, I got to get here, I got to be there. Well,
Mhm.
yeah, it's the journey you'll look back at, and you know what I mean. Because at the end, we all got an expiry date. There's going to be a day we're going to be sat down for the last time thinking about our lives, and it's not where you got, it's how you got there that you remember. It's all the experiences. So, and that's the way I live my life now. Is like I try to experience as much as possible, because one
Yeah,
day I'm going to look back at my life, and there's only one person that looks back over your life, and that's you. So
yeah,
I want to look back and be like, you know what, I went out there and lived. So that's what I'm
yeah.
doing.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, this is why I'm doing this podcast. I'm telling you, I like Hope did it to me too, man. You're making me shiver, bro. Like
And
you're
this
a
was
good guy, man. You're a good guy. If I'm ever in the East Coast, man, I gotta look you up.
oh,
Um,
bro, I'll roll at the red carpet, man. Come on.
yes. But you mentioned Liam, so I had my daughter young too. She's 25 now, right? But I know the struggle you're talking about, man. Like it's all about survival and taking care of the family, right?
Yeah, it is,
So
man.
I just like that you're Liam probably sees, you know what I mean? Your
Yeah.
kids have to see this in their parents, and he
Oh,
sees the fight in you too. So I like that too, man.
definitely, man. He does, man. He's and I couldn't be prouder of the young man he's becoming, and like he's just a good kid. And like you think I'm being biased, but I'm not. If I'd be the first one to tell him. You know what I mean? You've stepped on a lawn or whatever, being disrespectful, but he's a really good kid. And I like to think that he's seen that work ethic and stuff in me and how hard I was, working to, build a life for us. And I like to think that that reflected on him. And I'm proud of the young man he's become for sure.
Sweet, man. Shout out Liam.
Yeah.
And now your wife too. Is your wife
Oh,
named Steph? Is it
Stephanie. Yeah.
Stephanie, right?
Oh yeah, bro. She's my life manager, I call her, and she's gold. I've been very fortunate to find her.
Mhm.
She's been in my life now for 12 years.
Yeah,
Liam was one when we met, and
yeah.
yeah, bro. I'm very very fortunate and blessed. So
Mhm.
I definitely appreciate what I have and a family. So
Mhm. Amazing. All right. You know what I'm gonna do? Because I'm liking the way this conversation is going. I'm gonna ask the would you rather question now because kind of
yeah,
the stuff that you're saying is leading to that. And then we're gonna get into the big brother talk. And I know again we're 2 or 3 months removed, but I
yeah,
still like having a conversation because
absolutely.
Big Brother is one of my favorite shows.
Mhm.
Okay, Jonathan, this is a would you rather question. Would you rather visit your younger self and give them advice for the future? Or would you rather visit your older self and have them give you advice for what's going on right now?
Uh, wow. You know what? I'd probably meet my older self because you know what, man. Like I'm I'm a glass half full kind of guy,
Mhm.
and the amount of life that I live now and how I lived it, good and bad, because like nobody lives all good. It builds you into who you are, and I'm pretty proud of the man I am today. So all the mistakes I've made, I'm okay with them. So,
Mhm.
and if I could meet my older self, he could help me, you know, feel better about what's coming because I don't know what's coming, but I know what's happened. So I'd have to go meet my older self and just, you know, chalk it up with him and see exactly what the road looks like. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? What's gonna, yeah, I'd definitely have to meet my older self for sure.
That's a good take, man. Like again, I'm glad I came up with this question. I know I've heard the first one from other people in the past, like what would you tell your younger? But the older self, I haven't heard that one. So I wanted to throw that in
Yeah,
just to see what people will want to do. And I'm
absolutely.
noticing some people that have had a hard life, they
Yeah,
want to go back and tell their younger self, like,
yeah,
don't do this, make sure
mm-hmm.
you do this, and things like that. And
Mm-hmm.
then I get the people that want to visit their older self. So
Yeah, yeah.
I
And
like that
listen,
take.
well, listen, man, I've made plenty of mistakes, but I like to think is knowledge. It's kind of it's hardened me up. You know what I mean? If you go through life and everything's too easy, I
Mhm.
guess in a sense you're soft, and like that's not the way the world is. The world is not soft.
Yeah.
So you need to be not strong in the sense of rough and tough, but like strong. Your mentality needs to be strong. I guess kind of like in the big brother house, you're met with different situations, but you want to stay even keel. You want to be able to handle every situation, not let your emotions run too wild.
Mhm.
So yeah, man, I wouldn't change anything. Like I had a kid when I was young, and I like to think that that helped, you know, grow me up in the sense that like I knew what needed to be done, and so. But now I don't know what's coming in the future, so
Yeah.
I'd like to have a little bit of an insight on it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Okay. Now, this is a four-parter, right? Whether
oh,
you chose your younger self or your older self, these four questions is to do with your younger self. What would you tell your younger self about money?
ooh, that's a good one. That isn't everything.
Mm.
Um, I mean, we all need to make money to survive. It's the way the world works. Money is what makes the world go round in the sense that it can is not end all be all, but it can give you a sense of comfort and help you live your life. But it's not everything. Don't just chase money because like if you're working hard at something just for the money, one day you're gonna wake up and look back and be like, wow, I lost all that time, spent all that money, but am I where I want to be? Am I doing what I want to do?
Mhm.
Because like you can make money at everything. People kind of get it in their minds that like you need to make money at one certain thing. You need to make money at this. You need to make money at that, and like you kind of lose focus on what you feel. You're because like people, you don't want to hide your emotions. I don't care what anyone says.
Mhm.
You want to feel things. That's the joy of life, is feeling. You feel good, you feel bad, you feel sad, you feel happy, you feel angry, you feel joy. These are all feelings, us as human beings. Money, you chop a tree down, you make it out of wood, like your paper or whatever, that's man-made, but feelings, that's God-given. So you definitely gotta feel in life too.
Mhm.
Money, obviously, it's been, important since, the dawn of time. Like you need it, but
Mhm.
you also need to live your life. So
Mhm.
money isn't everything.
Yeah.
Take your time, figure it out, and money will come as long as you work hard. But no one said you can't work hard at achieving the goals and chasing stuff that you want to be, as opposed to grabbing and making money because you feel like that's the only thing you got to do is make money.
Mhm. No, that's a good answer. And I know there's no wrong or right answer with this,
Yeah,
but some people shake me, man, and that was well said. What would you tell your younger self about family?
that is everything. You know what I mean? Because as a kid, I mean, growing up, like, I mean, I guess every kid's like, you kind of, you know what I mean? You lose sight on, you take your family for granted. Your mom, your dad, they're going to be around forever, your brothers, whatever. But I'll be like, keep a good relationship with your family. You know what I mean? I always be, make an extra effort, allot the time to talk to your family, be with your family, whatever the case may be, because ultimately they're the people that are there for you. And family can not just be your immediate family. It can be your best friend. It can
Mm.
be, your uncle, your aunt, or someone you're very close with. Because like I'm gonna be honest with you, I got friends that I consider family that are there for
Yep.
me like brothers.
Yep.
And so just make the time, allot the time to have a 5 minute conversation with someone that means something to you, because their time and is very important. So
Mm.
family is very important. I'm telling you.
Nice. All right. We're on a roll. What would you tell your younger self about friends?
That appreciate them, because I'm gonna be real to you, like good close friends that actually don't want nothing from you. All they want is to see you succeed and be happy are hard to come by. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And today, like people can act as your friend because they want something from you, like but like true friends are very hard to come by. And so and I'm fortunate enough to have close friends, and like coming from Big Brother, like I got people that I like hope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It goes back to family. Like I literally love that guy like he's a brother, and would
Mm.
do anything in the world for him and want nothing in return. So like those are special relationships. So yeah, friends are a must. And like
Yeah.
if you got one or you got 15 or you got, five, whatever case may be, definitely appreciate them and go out of your way to keep them in your life and don't let them go.
Mm. Yo, this guy. Last one, Jonathan. What would you tell your younger self about love?
Ooh, that it is complex and complicated. And once you think you got to figure it out, you don't. It's something very beautiful, very special, and like it can come at you out of nowhere, like when you least expect it, and it can come at you of all shapes and forms, like your mother's love, father's love, your brother's love, friend's love. It's definitely one of the things that you feel. Like it goes back to what you feel. That's life, and if you're fortunate enough to feel love in your life, well, you're doing something right. So like, keep it going.
Oh, man, Jay, I just got people know, while you're talking, the teasers that can come out of this podcast, like I put the whole podcast out,
Yeah.
but some people say some profound things that I'm like, oh man, I gotta chop this up and just put it out, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing all
Appreciate
those.
that, man.
Okay, now Big Brother Canada. The first
Mm.
thing I want to know is, did you watch any seasons before your season?
I did. To be honest, I watched a lot of the American one growing up. I watched it with my mom, actually a lot growing up. And then like later in the Canada seasons, I was working offshore. I was in Alberta, so I didn't really consistently get to watch it.
Mhm.
But there is seasons I've binge watched. Because my wife is a super fan. She's watched every episode of every season. She is ecstatic about Big Brother, and me too, also. But like, she's a super fan.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I've watched like season 7. I've watched all the seasons with my fellow Newfoundlanders on it because like I wanted to show them my support.
Yeah.
So like I've watched probably season 2, 7, 9, and 10. So they're the seasons I've watched entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And how did you mentally prepare? So when you found out you're going to be on the show and you know you're going to have to come, it's filmed in Toronto, right? In my city, right?
It
It's from
is. Yeah.
Toronto.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
So when you found out that you're going to be on it, how did you prepare? Because you're going to leave your wife, you're going to leave your son,
Yeah.
and the activities that you're going on and everything. How did you mentally prepare for that?
To be honest with you, I just kept an open mind. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go in there with any strategic gameplay. I'm not going to go in there with any motive. I'm just going to go in there and let things come to me as they are and try to read, because I feel like I'm a good people reader. I
Mhm.
feel like I can read people in a pretty accurate way.
Mhm.
So I just went in there. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take every day and each experience as it comes and try to, do my best to navigate the waters,
Mhm.
build relationships. That was huge for me because, like, ultimately, yeah, you go on the show to win.
Yeah.
But to me, like, I'm an experience junkie. I love to meet people from all over. Like, I was hoping to meet people from all over Canada. I met people from all over the world, man. So like,
Yeah.
I could sit down and talk to people about their history and just listen, man. I love to listen. I love to hear people's stories.
Mhm.
So like when I got in, like The Crown, like those people in that crown mean so much to me because they
Yeah.
told me all about their lives, where they come from, what they represent, and
Mhm.
it truly, till the day, till the end of me, I will cherish those stories and memories for a long
Mhm.
time. So it wasn't really so much as going in there with a game plan. It was more like going in there ready to experience an experience like no other. So,
Mhm.
which it was. And,
Yeah.
but the hardest part, being away from my family, was incredibly hard. I was not prepared for how hard that was truly going to be because
Yeah.
you don't get any contact with them, right? So,
Mhm.
like, because like I've been away before for like out in the middle of the ocean, but I could always make that phone call at least once a day.
Right.
And when you don't have that, game
Mhm.
changer, game
Yeah.
changer. And
Jeez.
but like the production and the people taking care of you are like, second to none.
Top notch. Yeah.
They helped me sleep at night knowing that they had everything under control, and if anything was wrong, they would alert me immediately.
Mhm.
So like, I'm very appreciative of the people behind the scenes because they took care of me and gave me a sense of comfort that I needed throughout the whole experience. So
Nice.
yeah, man, it was definitely challenging, but and gameplay, I didn't really have one, but I like to think it worked out pretty
Yeah.
good.
It did. It did. Um, I just want to backtrack for a minute. You did I hear right? Your parents.
Yeah, they passed away. To be okay, I'll start from the beginning. Before COVID, when COVID just started taking off, my father just sat down in his chair, had a massive heart attack, passed away while he was having a nap. That was pretty traumatic. It was actually really, really traumatic. And then 10 days, no, yeah, 10 days later, we found out my mom had stage 4 cancer. So she had liver, bowel, bone cancers, and lung cancer. So 8 months after my dad passed during COVID, she passed. So I got to luckily, to spend the last moments with her. And you know what, man, those 8 months of her having cancer and being in tremendous amount of pain, she never complained once, not one time, not one time. Like throughout the whole experience, I noticed, mom's like, she's smiling, she's laughing, she wants to be with the grandkids, like she wants us to be around. That's all she wanted. She always had a smile on her face. And I think me and my brothers did more complaining for her because we were just upset. And excuse me, and then when I got to spend her last moments with her, she, man, her last request was turn up the music, and so I turned up the music on this little 13-inch screen TV that she had in her room, and she danced. She danced like her little feet moved, and her eyes were yellow from the jaundice of her liver. or kidney or jaundice or cancer, and yeah, man, she just didn't complain once, even when she passed away. Like, and that's what kind of led me to chase my goals and dreams, and like led me to be on Big Brother. Because I knew something in my heart told me that, like, if she can go through that whole thing, 8 months of battling cancer and pain and suffering, and not complain once and just enjoy life and what it was, I owe it to myself to, step out of my comfort zone and try to do something that, was seemed undoable for me. So,
Mhm.
it motivated me in a way that I never thought I could be motivated. So life is short, not to be taken for granted. Right now is the time to chase the best you. Chase your best version of yourself. Don't chase anybody else. Don't chase. We all look at screens and like, oh, look what they got. Look what they're wearing. Look how they look. Don't chase that. You can role model yourself, but ultimately chase the best version of you. And so I went on that show, and I said when I went on that show, I was going to be me to the
Mhm.
fullest. And that's what I was, no matter what situation, whether it be good or bad, I was going to be me.
Mhm.
And that's what I did. So, and I owe it to my mom, because her famous saying to me growing up, whenever I was sad, mad, angry, don't worry, mom loves you, be yourself. That was it. And I live my life by that way. I'm just going to be myself to the fullest.
Um, First of all, sorry, sorry about the loss of
I
both your
appreciate
parents.
that.
I
I really
didn't, um, I don't know if like you were ready to share that or it's okay to share it. So, but I
It's okay.
thought, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's absolutely. I appreciate it, man. I like talking about it, and that's the thing. Like, I'm at the point now where, like, talking about stuff like that is because that's another thing we do is we hold in our emotions, and it's okay to talk about stuff. It's okay to let things you're not comfortable out, because, like, yeah, the world can be an ugly place, but also be a very lovely place. You know what I mean? It can be ugly, but it can also be lovely. And yeah, man, I'm a lover. I love to live life, and that's what I'm all about.
Yes. Wow. Thanks, Jonathan. Oh, I already feel connected to you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Um, Back to the show now. So I asked Hope the same thing, man. So when I messaged you, I want to get your side of it. So I
Yeah,
heard
yeah.
Hope's side of it, on his connections with people and how it started with you and him. So I want to hear now to balance it out. When you first got in the house. So first of all, let me know when that door shuts,
Cool.
you new surroundings, new people. It's like, where do you start? And because you watched the show already, you know how things go and the progression and things like that. But being in it is different.
Oh
So it's
yeah.
like, where do you start? Did you click with anybody? And how was that feeling being in the house looking around?
Well, oh man, that feeling is, I don't know about everyone else. Me, like, I don't know if I showed it, but I was nervous. I,
Yeah.
I was so nervous, man. I was also hyped. But then,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, before I walked in the house, I seen Hope. Like, he was
Yeah.
right in front of me. He was sat in a chair in front of me. And I was like, I have got my work cut out for me. This guy is a mega athlete. He was like, he's like, I don't know, you've seen Hope. He's like a physical specimen. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he's incredible. But I
Mhm.
also seen him. I was like, man, me and this guy are going to get along. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's like, we just had a lot of the same interests and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Uh, but when I walked in the house, I was nervous. I was nervous, bro. But I wanted to get to know everybody at the same time.
Yeah.
And we were all probably nervous, everybody. But I really connected first with the immediate was Rob. Me and
Yeah.
Rob connected, and we're still connected. We're still close. We're really good friends. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? We're like brothers too. I think him and Hope are people I talk to the most.
Yeah.
But we're all pretty close, and I felt connected. Like, me and Claudia, we hit it off pretty early. I think that's that East Coast
The East
connect.
Coast. Yeah. Yeah.
She's fantastic too, man. So, and me and Hope, we connected at first, but it wasn't like super connected. But,
Mhm.
like, I think that was the beauty of our relationship, was
Mhm.
because, like, we were like brothers. We argued like brothers. We made up like brothers. We had each other's back no matter what. And there was a couple times where me and Hope actually had to sit down and hash it out. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, we did.
Mhm.
But because we did those things, we became so close. Like, honestly, like, I mean, when we first got off the show and he went his way and I went my way, I felt like sad because I felt like I was missing my brother. You know what I'm saying? Because we were
Yeah.
together every single day and we talked. He knew my quirks, I knew his quirks. He knew when I was upset, I knew he was upset.
Mhm.
You know, and I think that's very special.
Mhm.
Yeah, so our relationship is amazing. Like, I still miss him. I can't wait to get up and try and kick it with him. You know what I mean? So
Yes. Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
so immediate connection was probably like just Rob, but like over the span of like the first week, me and Hope started connecting because I'd like to think me and Hope are a lot alike. We have you know, good hearts. Like
Mhm.
Hope, man, everyone sees Hope, the energy guy, the physical specimen he is, like, but I know Hope on like a deeper level, and
Yeah.
like the biggest thing about Hope and what makes him so special, and I tell him every day, like he's got potential of the yin yang, and like he's destined for greatness. I feel
Yeah.
uh, is his heart, man. He got
Mhm.
such a good heart. His heart's always in the right place, and I could see that early on in the game. You know what I mean? Even when decisions like stuff, we're getting a little gamey, a little nasty and stuff. I
Mhm.
could see he wore it. Like,
Yeah.
he definitely wore it. Like, you know what I mean? And that's a sign of like a good hearted person.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, no, man, I got high praises for Hope, and I'm very fortunate that I came out of that whole experience with someone I'm so close with.
Yeah, and I can tell what kind of person he is because he was another one that I reached out to, as you know, did the
Yeah,
podcast. He was so supportive, you know what I mean? He
yeah, yeah.
said, let's do it. And I can tell in the podcast while he was talking to me that he was a genuine person,
Oh, he is, man.
good
He
to
is, man.
people.
Yeah, he's big energy. Like everyone sees the big energy, and that's what makes him special is his energy. But he
Hmm.
also has like positive energy. Like
Yeah,
he's a hype man. I mean, when you get to know him, like he's truly would do anything for you kind of person. Like
yeah.
he's a good hand man, and I'm very privileged to know him, and let alone be so close and friends with him.
Hmm. And you said something, you said Rob. I really liked Rob, eh? I was really upset. And I asked Hope about that whole situation because I didn't like the way things went down with Rob.
Yeah,
He was one of my favorites. And
yeah.
when he got to me, he got done dirty, right? So I
Oh
was
yeah,
like, why is this happening? And then
Mhm.
I think that's when I seen your emotions come out first.
Yeah.
So give me a little 2 minute synopsis of what happened in your eyes.
Oh, bro, like in my eyes, like at the beginning of that show, we had it made. Like I was just like, we're gonna have fun. This, you know what I mean? We're gonna go coast by with this All Guy Alliance, and like even when people know about it, they're not. If they challenge us, like we're gonna come back at them. Like maybe I got to figure it out. Maybe I'm very fortunate in this game right now.
Yeah.
But I was wrong. I was wrong. I guess things went sour on the inside, and that POV that Rob went up got backdoored.
Hmm.
I was so upset. I was so upset because like I felt I trusted everyone in that alliance so very much.
Yeah.
Like, me, Rob, Ty, Zach, and Hope. I think that was the five that we were in that alliance with. Um, so I was completely taken off guard. Like I was really taken off guard, and I was so close with Rob. And I mean, that was my brother. It's the guy I trusted the most at that point. And like, I was faced with a decision. I could either let it happen or I could fight for him. And like, to be honest with you, like, you're in that game, and like, people can be like, oh, yeah, game comes first, whatever. But at that time, it was instinct with me. And that was to go to war for my brother. And like, I felt like he was uh, shafted a little bit on the whole thing. So I was like, I got to give him a fair, help level the playing field a little bit. So I went to war for him, and I was like, man, because I knew he had a fight ahead of him. I
Yeah.
just, I just wanted him to know he wasn't going to fight it alone, and
Yeah.
I was going to be there with him, whether it be someone to talk to or someone to help game to keep him there, whatever it was, I was going to be there for him.
Hmm.
Because like I do now, I really I care about the guy as a person and a man, and I care about our friendship. So, and when you're in that house, you kind of forget you're in a game a little bit
That's
because
what
like,
I was wondering about that too. Yeah.
yeah, you forget you're in a game, and and just who you are kicks in. Like, you know what I mean? So when like I knew that if the shoe was on the other foot, I would want someone in my corner
Hmm.
because on the outside life, my family's in my corner. And then when you're in that game, it's kind of like that's stripped away. You've got no one in your corner.
Hmm.
So you kind of build these bonds. And like, at that point, like he looked at them as my family in that house. And like, I didn't want my family walking out that door. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to do whatever I can to fight to keep him here. And
Hmm.
I'm sad that it ended up with him walking out the door, but we definitely fought for him to stay. And I know he fought for himself to stay. And ultimately, I just wanted them to know they wouldn't fight alone, that he
Yeah.
was going to someone in his corner.
Yeah. I
And
appreciate you saying your side so I can hear that as well from a different perspective.
yeah.
But everything you're saying, yeah, Hope was saying the same thing. And speaking of Claudia, though, my daughter, my wife ran into Claudia downtown Toronto, and
Oh,
Renee, I
cool.
believe
Oh,
Renee, and
Renee.
yeah,
Nice.
and they took
Nice.
a picture, and I reached out to Claudia, but she was supposed to be on the podcast, but the timing, she's doing certain things right now, so
Yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah.
bother her right now. But yeah, speaking of Claudia now and the girl crew, did you click with any of the girls besides Claudia because that East Coast connection? And did
Oh,
you think of having an alliance with the girls, like a side alliance?
oh, but well, the funny thing is, like at the beginning of the game, me and Renee always had a really good close relationship. Like we always had like, I don't know what is good chemistry. So
Mm.
at the beginning of the game, even when she was on the block, like I told her, I was like, listen, like I'm gonna, kind of fight to keep you here. And like I believe that she had a lot of game left in her, and which she did. I sit correct.
Yeah,
She was a beast of a game player, social juggernaut.
yeah,
But yeah, so I got really close with Renee. But I guess later on in the game, that kind of soured because we both went in our different directions. We couldn't really have that sense of game trust, but we always loved each other. Like we knew we had each other's best interests. Like my bed was next to hers in the flamingo room. So we
mhm,
had a really close relationship. And I love Renee to bit, man.
yeah,
She's great. She's good stuff. I miss her actually talking about her.
yeah.
And Shania, man, like Shania, oh my God, I can't say enough good things about her. And
Mhm.
we were originally supposed to have an alliance with Shania, me and Rob and
Yeah,
Shania.
I
Yeah.
remember that. I think the TV they showed it that on TV,
They
right? Yeah.
showed that, yeah. So I
Mhm,
was super pumped about that because I always like Shania. You know, when you meet people and you just instantly know they're good people. I
mhm.
got that with Shania, and I was right. I sit here correct on that one too, because especially in jury, I got to know like really, really hash it out. Especially with Dan too, Dan S. Like we
Yeah.
became close in jury.
Mhm.
Uh, and so, yeah, man, like Shania, I believe that Shania was very capable in that game. Like she showed it so many times, especially in the first HOH, where you had to hold on to endurance one. Like it was like
Yeah.
a week, you had to hold on. Like I don't know if they showed it on TV, but she was fourth and she had let go to a sense where thought she was done, but then she like fought back and she held on for another like hour and a half, 2 hours. And so that really showed me that she had heart.
Yeah.
So, and then she won that POV that ultimately sent me home.
Yeah.
Like I told her, man, when she was trying to make the decision on what to do what's best for you. I totally understand.
Mhm.
But when she won that POV, I seen her lock in. I seen her lock in and accomplish something. So, and like, man, she had a lot of heart in that game. Like I think she had one of the biggest hearts in the game for sure. So
Yeah.
and the girls, obviously, Kuzi and Anika and Santina, like we were all close, and
Mhm.
like it was great relationships all around for sure,
Mhm.
especially now after the show.
Yeah. You know who I was rooting for too was Santina.
Oh,
I was
Santina,
rooting for,
yeah.
yeah, man. And I remember you had a conversation where she told you something in confidence, and then it showed you saying her secret. I forgot what it was now. It's so
HOH,
bad. Yeah, the
HOH,
secret HOH or something,
the
right?
secret HOH. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, Jonathan's not gonna say anything. And then it showed a clip of
It showed
I
me
was
clearly.
like,
I know. Yeah, I've seen that actually. But yeah, no, man. We, you know what? Me and Santina, we kind of like we always like. It was just like two good friends hanging out, and we always like we talked a bit of game, but not much. But
Mhm,
we always just hashed it out. We trusted each other.
mhm.
And then when I told, like, I held on to that secret for a couple of days.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really intended on not telling anybody. But
Mhm,
my alliance, the Crown, which I was part of first,
mhm.
they were kind of uneasy because they didn't know. So I was like, do I tell them? Do I not tell them? But then when I seen that they were kind of really like worried about who was going to go up, I told
Yeah,
them. I was like,
yeah,
don't worry. I know who the HOH is. She can be trusted. She has the same plan
yeah,
as us. And then I was like, maybe I can make a bridge to get Santina to work with the Crown.
yeah.
And me and Hope went to work for that. Like me and Hope really put in a lot of work to try to get the Crown and Santina to align and work together.
Mhm.
Uh, but it didn't work out. But Yeah, no, man. Like it was, I did tell the Crown about Santino's secret HOH, but
Yeah,
it was in a good place. So I'm,
yeah,
you know what I mean. It was at a good place.
yeah. It
So
was necessary
it
for
was
you at that
necessary.
moment. Yeah,
Exactly right.
yeah.
So
Yo, you said something about you can read people and things when you first
yeah,
meet them. So I always ask this question to my guests, and I remember talking to Tyshawn. He said something funny, but when you first get there and now you're talking to people, having conversations, and you're getting to know them, personal and game. Do you have a sense of who's not telling you the truth and who you can really trust? Because I already know from the relationship with Hope and Rob, I know you had their trust, but I'm talking about someone like Zach. I think his name's Zach, the one that really
yeah,
messed things
Zach.
up. Could you see like the not trust in some of these people just by talking to them?
Yes and no. With Zach, was relatively complicated at first. Because like I trusted Zach completely. I looked at, you know what I mean. I was like, man, we're boys. Like I even said to Rob, I was like, no, man, Zach is one of the boys with us. He's gaming with us. You know what I mean. And
Mhm.
he's, you know, I give him praise. Like he went in there to play and like he played hard. Maybe that was, you know, played a little bit too hard too quick.
Yeah.
But he was good too. Like, you know, he got that social thing about him that like he can go around and bounce around and talk to people. But I always got that sense that he was there to play. So I didn't really know if he was willing to make the really hard, which kind of didn't seem at the time made sense, like, you know, moves.
Mhm.
Uh, he wanted to make big moves too early, I thought, but that was just my personal opinion. But I didn't get the sense that he, you know, I didn't read that situation right. I think I was wrong on that one.
Yeah.
Uh, and Todd too, because like me and Todd were close at the beginning of that. Like I think there was a point in time there at the beginning of the game, he was the one I trusted the most. Like I was like, yeah, no way, no way. Like me, Todd, and Claudia had an alliance called Three of a Kind. I don't know if they showed
Wait,
that.
I don't remember that. Okay.
Yeah, Three of
Okay.
a Kind. Like, you know, I always tell him he got a little East Coast in there, right? I still tell him this day.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and so like, but like that's the game. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's a very, very hard game. It's a very like I'm very good at reading people, but at the same time, you can miss things. And in
Yeah.
that game, you miss one thing, that could mean the end.
Yeah.
It could
It's all
mean
right. It's all right.
the game could be over. Because there was one point me and Hope thought we had the whole game by the throat. We're like, yeah, we're gonna, you know, us and Santina, we're gonna dominate us and the Crown. We got this whole thing figured out. The next
Mhm.
week, two of us were on the block. I went
Yeah.
home. So you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's day to day in there, man, and like each day is like a month. Like
Yeah.
so much can happen, you know. So
And there's one thing about planning and having your alliances and stuff, but Big Brother throws in their wrenches in the plan too sometimes, right? So that screws things up sometimes.
yeah, like and every week is different. Every day is different. Big Brother does an amazing job of keeping things interesting because boy, it's interesting in there, top to bottom. Like you don't know what's coming, and that's part of the experience. Is like you really don't know what's coming. Isn't that crazy? Like it's fun though. Like how many of us wake up every day, do the
Mm.
same thing, go to bed, wake up, do the same thing. In there, you really don't know what you're going to get into that day. So like
Yeah.
it's incredible, right? Like it's pretty cool.
Mm. So you know what that leads to now? The sleep. Like I like asking about that sleep pattern outside of the house. Are you the 8 to 10 hour sleeper, or are you up in the morning? Because your industry to the job you do, it seems like you get up early, right? But how is sleep for you in the house?
I found it pretty good. That was my favorite time of day, actually, was going to bed. Like, I
Yeah.
loved it because everybody forgot about game, man. You were laughing, you're making fun. Like, the flamingo room was fun, and the toucan room, as much as I don't tell any of them I said this, was a blast
Yeah.
because I'm Team Flamingo, right?
Yeah.
But no, man, and like you could hear him laughing, like and Hope, man, I could hear him, like the energy he brings in the nighttime and bedtime. Like I did so much laughing with him. Is It was a good time. Bedtime was wicked, and like
Mhm.
sleep, like you didn't know if you're going to get a like they changed it, right? Like you know
Yeah.
you might get so many hours, you might so many hours, like but you did get sleep in there. But I didn't find it bad, man. I actually liked it. But like you said, I'm used to getting like 3 and 4 and 5 hours sleep a night and waking up and doing a full day's work. So
Yeah. Yeah.
nothing different really, right? So but yeah, no man, it was good. Sleep was good, especially like when I had the bed to myself.
Yeah. Yes. All right. And also now, when it comes to food outside, you're 6'5", you're a big guy. How is your diet? And then when you go into the house, tell me about the slop, and also, do they feed you enough in the house?
Oh my God, they feed you so good. And like, that was the thing in there. Like I actually don't eat as much as you would think. Like
Mhm.
I'm probably about 220 pounds. I'm 6'5". I
Mhm.
do eat a lot, don't get me wrong. But
Yeah.
in the house they feed you so well, man. Anything you want, like you request it. And they usually stay on top of it. They do an excellent job of keeping you fed. Like you never go hungry in there. You always got plenty of what you like.
Mhm.
Uh, um, so that was really good. And like you had protein, like whatever you wanted. Like it was pretty good in that sense. Um, and you always had your meat. And that was another thing about in the house. Like we all kind of, when we had supper or dinner, as
Yeah.
I call it supper,
Mhm.
we all came together. We all sat at the table. No matter how tense things were, how ugly things were getting game wise, we all came together and sat down and had our meal together.
Oh,
Not every
nice.
day, but most days, right? Because we had our
Mhm.
cooks, we had our chefs, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
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 So yeah, no, man, eating in there was good. I must say, I did lose 20 pounds in there though.
Why are you serious?
Yeah, well, like 17, 18 pounds I lost. But I think that was just like from the whole experience of like,
Of course, yeah.
stresses, not
Yeah.
eating, not exercising as much as I usually do. So the appetite's not really there. So it was a
Mhm.
combination of things. But to be honest, I kind of like dropping that weight. I think it looked kind of
Yeah,
good.
yeah. You look good now, man. You're in
Thank
shape.
you.
The beard's lined up nice. Nice, man.
Oh, yeah. I
Mhm.
had to learn enough for this, man. Like
Yeah.
before this.
Oh, yo, tell me something, man. Mental health is such a big topic now, and a lot of
Right.
people get anxiety and stuff. Let
Yep.
me know, were you like a go-to guy? Because I'm sure people, but you missed your family too.
I
But
did.
let me know, were you like a go-to guy if someone was feeling really homesick? Or did you have someone that you went to? Was there someone else there that you can talk to and they make you feel at home, make you feel at ease? Was there anybody in the house like that?
Absolutely, man. I think that's the reason why I was so over with the house guests is because like I did a good job of dropping game and just being human. And like sometimes people just, especially in that kind of environment, sometimes you just need an ear, someone to talk to.
Mhm.
You don't even have to say anything, just someone to listen. So I was definitely that for. I like to think a number of people because like I just that's just who I am. I'm always like to be there for my friends and my family and like just listen. Um, and me and Hope did a lot of that. We did a lot of kind of hiding away and just chit chatting, man. Like because we both, everyone in there got homesick from one time or another. I
Yeah.
know Hope did because we spent so much time together.
Mhm.
I just wanted to reassure him that like you got a beautiful girl out there waiting for your family, they're out there waiting for you, they're all supporting you. Because at times you just need that pick me up.
Yeah.
Hope was there for me, but someone that I was also like I felt that sense of comfort with. That I knew if I felt like I let someone down or let myself down or I missed my family was Kuzi.
Wow.
Kuzi was definitely someone I respected and I took her word to the bank. Like whenever, and not just game, but like, human aspect of it. Like if I felt bad about if I let myself down, I lost the HOH or I missed home, I was missing my boy, I was missing my wife. I always talked to Kuzi too. Like I always went to her and like some people probably thought we were talking game, but really we're just being human beings and being there
Mhm.
for each other.
Yeah.
So she was definitely someone that I leaned on at times just to help get me through the day for sure.
Yeah. Nice. Thanks for sharing that. Um, game wise now, when you came into the house, where you know what I don't like about Big Brother or Survivor, any of my shows, I don't like when people throw competitions. I watch a lot of reality TV. I
Yeah.
like when people go
And
balls
go
to the
on.
wall in competitions, man. But I know there's strategy behind things, but I like to
Yeah.
see that competition. When you came into the house, did you want to win competitions and be that beast? Or were you just laid back or like to do it for yourself too? Like, I want to
Yeah.
prove that I can do this. Like, how was that for you?
Well, honestly, man, like there was not one competition that I didn't give my all, but there
Okay.
was competitions I felt like I didn't need to win because
Okay.
like especially the first couple, like I think Step Right Up, because I only played HOHs. I never got to play one POV.
Yeah,
There
I
were
know.
six POVs while I was there. Never got to play one,
Yeah.
which sucks.
Hmm.
But because like the reason why I wanted to play a POV is because like when you're playing a POV, you got some hype people. You got other house guests just hyping you up. And a
Yeah.
HOH, you don't. It's just quiet and everybody's versus everybody.
Yeah.
So I always wanted that little bit of hype, but I also wanted the chance of the POV.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, man, it was. I never threw one, but at the same time, there was ones I felt comfortable not winning.
Yeah.
But because like I felt like I was in good standing with a lot of the house. Like, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like I don't think anybody would have willingly put me up to get me out. And so I was like, you know what? Maybe I don't have to win. But there was times I wanted to win because I wasn't sure what was going to happen to someone I was close with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I wanted to give myself and the people I was working with a sense of safety. So
Safety. Yep.
there was a couple. I think there was an HOH. Ty's first HOH, the first one he won, the one we had to hold on to endurance one. Can't remember the name. Bowie one.
Yeah.
Uh, I really wanted to win that, not in the sense I wanted to eliminate anybody more so than anyone else, but I wanted to A, prove to myself that I could win. B, give everyone in my alliance a sense of safety, which is
Mhm.
something I never had like in a little bit at that point. So
Yeah.
I really let myself down. That goes back to Koozie. Like I think they showed on Digital Daily or something. My wife showed me that I was really down, and I talked to Koozie about it and kind of brought myself back up.
Yeah. Tell me something. Was there one point? Because I was kind of upset because you were one of my favorites from the jump. And I
Yeah,
swear there was one show where I thought you wanted to leave. Like it was showing like you weren't sure if you wanted to be there because of all the stuff that happened. I think
yeah,
maybe Rob left or something. And
yeah.
you were in the bedroom and I'm like, is he gonna leave? But
Yeah. No, it was honestly, I know what a period of time you're thinking about. I was considering it. It
mhm,
wasn't because of the game or people in it. It was just like I felt like I was doing a disservice to the game because I was like, man, I can't.
that was it. Yeah.
I was like, I can't, because at the time I think I was faced with a decision. Either I kind of stand with Rob, or I'm like, okay, I play the game and I just send him home and no big deal. And I was just like, I got to go against who I am to send him
Mhm.
home and just go with the flow, or I go against what I thought was the game strategy. So I
Yeah.
was like, either way, I'm going against myself. Or I'm going against what I felt like the game had to, what way the game had to be played. So I
Mhm.
ended up going against what way I thought the game would play. I was like, you know what, I got to stand with him and fight. And I was like, if it gets me out the door next week, so be it. But I'm
Wow.
gonna be true to myself, opposed to playing the game how I thought. But the game can be played in so many different ways. Everyone goes in there with the mindset of, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. And it all changes
Yeah.
because you watch on TV, you see people on TV, but when you're in there, you're sat down with people.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just different, right? So like it's very challenging, but
Mm.
also very rewarding experience for sure.
Mm.
Mm.
Sweet. Sweet. Okay. And now you talked about the camera. Sometimes you forget your real personality comes out and stuff. It was so funny when I was talking to Tara from season
Uh,
9. Jacob.
Nine? No,
Yeah, 9. Tyshawn season 9. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
nine, nine. Yeah.
So when I was talking to her, she said she forgot about the cameras and she actually bumped into one. So it and you're tall. There's cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
Do you are you aware of the cameras all the time, or does it get to that point where like this is my life and you forget the cameras are there? Or are you always mindful, like I
Uh,
can't say this on TV. I gotta watch my step here.
I forgot they were there so many times. So many times. Like I'll just be kicking it in the flamingo room or toucan room or down in the kitchen, especially in the library. I forgot they were there so often. But like I was comfortable knowing that I got nothing to hide. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I was comfortable being myself. That's when I went on the show. I was like, you know, I I'm just comfortable with myself, and like so I never really worried about it. So that's the reason I forgot they were there.
Mhm.
But at the same time, you know they're there. Some
Yeah.
one time, Hope, yeah, it's so funny. I'll never forget it. We're in the library, and all the cameras around me. Just that's what they do sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Hope was like, "What the heck?" He's
Yeah.
like, "What are you on you?" Like, he was just horsing around. Like it
Yeah.
was a lot of fun, man. We had a lot of fun with it in there for sure. Like uh, and like to anyone that's thinking about going on the show and worried about that,
Mhm.
be yourself, man. Like you know what I mean. If you're comfortable with yourself and do something like that, like you'll be okay. You know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Mhm.
It's you do forget they're there after a time, but at the same time, you don't forget completely. And like you know you're on TV,
Yeah.
but like I said, man, it's a good experience for sure. Definitely,
Sweet.
yeah.
Yeah. Yo, are there 12 house cats in the beginning or 16, 12 or 16? I can't remember.
16,
Okay,
16. Yeah,
tell me something. This is one of the last questions I want to know about Big Brother before we talk about post Big Brother. When you
yeah.
walk into the house and you see all of your house guests, all of your challengers,
Yeah.
did you have someone picked besides yourself? Like you wanted to win, of course. Did you have someone picked to be in the top two or even win just by looking at your house guests?
Just by looking at them.
Yeah.
Uh, well, you know what, man? I had day one, first meeting. I had Ty up there because he just looked like he was athletic and like I know him. Something there, man. Like we just got along from the beginning, right? Now, like things were sour later on in the road, but we never really got hostile with each other or anything like that.
Yeah.
I had him picked up there. And who else did I have picked? Like it's funny too, like I knew Claudia was going to do well.
Yeah.
They were the top two. I guess I'm never thinking about it right now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I did pretty good with them.
Yeah.
Claudia was definitely one of them too because I just loved her charm, man. Like, she was small, but I knew that was going to be an athletic small. I knew that she was going to be a competitor in comps, and Hope too, man. Like I seen Hope too. Like I always tell Hope till right now. I was more your fan than your friend for a lot of that show. Like
Wow.
I was rooting for him more so than I was, rooting against him. Like
Yeah.
when I was campaigning to stay over Hope, like I was also giving like no matter what happens, you're getting a good one. I was like,
Yeah.
Hope brings this to the table. Like I never once said anything bad about him because I just couldn't do it because I believed in him, I still do.
Yeah.
So like I definitely had Hope up there in a competition standpoint. And Kuzi and like the list went on, and Rob. Like I had Rob up there too. But as the game goes on, you start to see like what's going to happen. Because social is like, such a huge part of that game. Comps are important because it sways power. But like, you got a super good social game, like you can win the whole thing and not have to worry about comps. You know what I mean?
You're so right. And you know what I was fascinated with though? At the end, when Ty, like everyone was against Ty, and he just kept winning. Because, like you said, it's your alliance and social. If you have the numbers, it's hard to beat that.
Yeah.
But when everyone's against you, and then all of a sudden you're winning back-to-back comps, where if you didn't win, you'd be kicked out. But just winning, I'm like, wow, he fought his way right to the end. So I'm so glad that he made that decision to stay in the house when Zach was like, yo, he want to go. I'm like, no, don't. What are you doing, man? This is your game, your experience. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, bro. Like when I seen him, when he came back and went up in the room and stuff, and like I knew he wanted some alone time and just kind of refocus in because like I know how challenging that game can be because like at times, like you said, like there was a time I didn't know if I was going to be there.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to sink it in, and but at the same time, man, like I'm happy he stayed. Like regardless of all the whatever the noise and mess, like at the end of the day, we're there for our own experiences, and I felt like, well, hey, he won. He won the top prize. So, but that aside, like even if he didn't win, he owed it to himself to experience whatever came out of it. Like it doesn't matter if you win or lose in that game, you still experience it. And like as a human being in life, you're going to look back and remember that whole experience, whether you won or lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he owed it to himself to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm happy he stayed. I'm happy he experienced it. And like, besides the fact he won, I'm happy he got to enjoy the whole Big Brother experience. I'm going to go on a limb here and say he's very thankful he did it.
Yeah.
It's kind of my gut instinct. I'm going to say he's thankful he stayed.
So true. So true. Okay. Now, when you got voted out, when you're out of that house, I like to hear from my guest that's been in the house. So you're on stage with Arissa. What is that first feeling like sitting down talking to Arissa?
Oh my God, man, that was so cool. That was like, to be honest with you, like I knew if I didn't win, I was going to look forward to walking in that door and sitting down with Arissa. And it was everything I dreamt it would be and more. Like it was surreal because I got to sit down and chalk it up with Arissa. I mean, like that itself is an amazing experience. And like I got to, and it was my first time out of the house since I went in. And I felt alive. Like I felt the energy. Like you literally feel the energy in the room of like people that are in the room with you. Like I felt so positive. It was a sense of joy and happiness. I wasn't bitter. in any way. I was excited that I just did that whole thing. I was excited to go to jury and see Dan.
Yeah.
I was excited to experience jury. I was
Mhm.
very thankful that I was part of jury. And like just I could have sat there and talked to Arissa all day. Like, you know what I mean? I like to think that there was good chemistry there, and she's very good at what she does. She's very welcoming. Her energy is positive and infectious. Like it was incredible. That's probably the best word to describe the whole thing is incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. And you touched on jury. So now I'm glad you gave me that feeling you felt on stage talking to Arissa, and then you mentioned jury. But I want to know, go into a little bit more detail when you're, because it shows, on TV, it shows you driving to the location.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you come out the car and everyone's there, what's that feeling like seeing your former house guest? You may have like some bitterness, like game bitterness towards someone, or you might be joyful because you seen someone you like when you and Hope
Hope.
hugged
Yeah.
when you met, and I'm like, whoa, that got to me too, man. But tell me what that feeling.
Oh man, it is surreal. So surreal. Even when I crept up on Dan and
Yeah,
gave him a hug and he seen me for the first time, it was like it was shock, but at the same time, you're like, man, I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. And even though it's been a week, like it
yeah,
feels like I haven't seen him forever. And I was just genuinely happy to see him.
yeah,
So to spend time in jury with him. And then Santina popped in immediately that day. I was super surprised to see Santina. I did not want to see her there.
yeah,
I had her picked for like top two,
yeah,
but was it was crazy, man. And then when Hope came in, like I'm not gonna lie to you, I was super happy to see him. I didn't
yeah,
in a personal, spoil or a selfish way. I was
yeah,
sad that the game ended because I wanted him to go far. But I was
yeah,
like, I was pumped to have him in jury with me. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like you can tell that by the hog. But
yeah,
yeah, no, man, I can't lie. I was excited to see everybody. Like you know what
yeah.
I mean?
Hmm.
I was super shocked to see Kuzi. Then when I seen Shania, I was every person that came in was like sense of shock. You're just like, what?
Yeah.
How? The first question is how? Like how?
Yeah. How?
You know?
Yeah. Okay. Now back on the stage for voting. You see Claudia and you see Ty. Did you have a sense of who was going to win and who you were going to vote for?
And I was back and forth. I don't know if you could see it, but like I was sweating on the inside, like because I still think a lot of Claudia. I really do.
Mhm.
She called me right now and needed something. Like I do whatever's in my power to make give her the help she needed or whatever.
Mhm.
Be there for her in a heartbeat. But at Ty too, there was also a level of respect. And then in jury, hearing about like the POVs, like you said, like he never had nobody, like he was just literally his back was against the wall and he fought his way out of it.
Mhm.
That earned my respect, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And so it was literally up in the air when two of them were there. I was like,
Mhm.
man, I felt like I couldn't pick a wrong one.
Yeah.
I wanted to be fair, and and at the end of the day, they both won. You know what I mean? They both walked away with something, and I was very happy. It kind of gave me a sense of peace knowing that, like
Mhm.
that one person walked away with the grand prize, and the other person walked away with zero. It was like two of them won. Two of them
Yeah.
made top two. Two of them will like forever have that top two. So I kind of like in my head, I was like, okay, whatever decision I do make, there's no wrong one.
Yeah.
Uh, but so I don't regret my decision, but at the same time, I wish I could have voted for both of them.
Yeah. This.
To be completely honest with you, I would have put two pegs down there because I respected both of them, and with Claudia, it was a deeper sense of like I would have been there for her in a heartbeat. I wish we
Yeah.
had the game more, I really do, but the way things were in the house, she was like had a showmance with Ty, and I just didn't game with Ty, so I
Mhm.
couldn't really you know, put everything out there with her because I was afraid that it could get back to Ty. But even though I felt like I could trust her,
Mhm.
but yeah, man. So it was a hard decision. I made it, and it was a tough one for sure. And
Yeah.
it was tough seeing Daniel C walk out too because like man, I love that guy so much. Daniel
Yeah.
C. He's someone I'm also very close with.
Mhm.
Uh, and his energy, so if infectious, he's one of those people when you're around, like you just feel so positive because his energy is infectious.
Yeah.
And his social game was pretty incredible in that house.
Is
Uh,
what's weird though? How some people have to really find themselves. Like
yeah,
Hope was boastful right from the beginning and he had all the energy. But from TV, I'm talking about what we seen.
Yeah.
I was watching Daniel and I'm like, he seemed more reserved and quiet and not, he couldn't find his place and then the crown and everything. And then later on in the show, like
Yeah,
he became that person. And I'm like, okay, he found himself in the show. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
he did, man. He did. He'll tell you himself at the beginning of that game. He felt like he didn't fit in, like not
Yes.
fit in a sense, like with different groups.
Yeah.
But boy, did he ever fit it, like find his place in that game because like truly everyone loved him. Everyone still loves him. Like his I don't know, he made it to the bottom three. So like that tells you right there, like people yeah, he was a threat, and I'll say it to them that he's incredibly athletic. Like, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? You know, he earned my respect early on in the game in that regard. I was like, this guy's going to be a competitor in competitions.
Yeah.
Social game is it's not like where he's going around making promises or anything. He's just literally so lovable and
Mhm.
smart. Like he's incredibly smart, right? And like, you know, he gave me advice in that game. It helped me. So yeah, no, I got nothing but the utmost respect for him. And he fought for that game, and you know, it paid off for him. He was in the bottom three. So like that itself is like an amazing accomplishment, especially in that game, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, man. Thanks for sharing that. Now, coming to the end of the podcast now. Post Big Brother. First of all, I want to know, I know a lot of Canadian Big Brother former house guests probably reached out to you and you've
yeah.
had conversations, but any American house guests reach out to you too?
No, I haven't heard from any American house guests, which I
Mhm.
do know a lot, like from being a fan of the show.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
no, I don't. I know I haven't had any American house guests reach out that I can think of right now at the moment. Because when it first got out, it was crazy. It was just mess. I didn't even look at social media for like I'm gonna say a couple weeks easy.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because
Wow.
I was so like I just enjoyed the fact that I was with my wife and with my family and just took in the air, took in the whole experience. I
Yeah.
didn't want to dive into the phone and social
Okay.
media right away.
Mhm.
So I took like a couple weeks off and just from social. But yeah, no, man, everyone that reached out to me, and that's another thing about this whole experience is
Mhm.
like the alumni, man. Like the alumni, like from season 1 to season 11 is incredible. Like
Yeah.
you're at the drop of a hat. Like if I messaged I don't know any of them
Mhm.
with advice or just help with like how to navigate everything or just to talk about the game, they're there. Like you
Yeah.
know, like they're there like um, tremendously. Like last night, I had a dinner with a lot of the alumni
Oh
from
yeah.
here.
I
You
know.
know, not all of them, unfortunately, but like I'm hoping that everyone will come together eventually.
Mhm.
All get together, but just incredible. Like you know what I mean. Everybody got a different experience in the game, but
Mhm.
we all can relate and just talk about the whole experience. And it's incredible. And like so I'm very thankful for that. Very
Mhm.
thankful for all the alumni that reached out to me.
Yeah.
Who's been there for me whenever I needed something just to talk. Incredibly thankful for that. So yeah, just really proud and privileged to be part of the whole thing.
Sweet. And I seen that picture on Instagram.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
with Tina and Adam, I believe. I don't know the other two, I can't remember, but
John Hardy.
John, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Allison. They're from season two.
yeah.
Season two.
John
Yeah.
was one of my favorite in his season.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
hilarious. He's a riot, man. He's a big person. He's a big guy and big personality. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's cool.
He won his season too, I believe.
He
Oh,
did,
yeah.
man. He kind of hashed it out to me last night. Like we just talked about it, and like it was incredible to hear stories of people's experience. Like it's really fun, right? Like it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Amazing. Okay. And now, have you, when you got back on social, now this is part of your life now because you're doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
So you're using this now as like a marketing tool to let the people know what you're doing now, post Big Brother.
Absolutely. Like I'm still trying to figure it all out. I mean, I don't think anyone actually figures it out, but I'm just trying to find my way. You know what, man? Like I love interacting with people.
Mhm.
I love being in entertainment industry, like being on the show kind of opened my eyes to things I never knew I loved so much. Like
Yeah.
whether it be in front or behind or whatever, just being involved in production or in entertainment in some way and stuff like this. Like here talking to you, like I love this, man. I was so looking forward to sitting down and
Yeah.
talking. Like you know, last night I was like, oh, I can't wait for tomorrow. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love it. So like I'm looking to push forward on that, and whatever happens, like yeah, I got my goals. Like there's directions I want to go, but like whatever comes, I'll definitely be I've been very I'm not one to turn down opportunity. So whatever opportunity in whatever way, shape, or form it comes, I'll definitely be open to it. And I look forward to tomorrow because I don't know what it's going to bring. So
Yeah.
you know what I
Well
mean.
said.
So yeah, just kind of working hard each and every day, learning wherever I can, and just being thankful for the moment, but also looking forward to the future. Mm.
Nice, nice. Thanks for letting us know. I seen a post too. Is it the Franklin Hotel? You had a
Yeah,
nice post and it went to music and everything. The
yeah, yeah,
Franklin
yeah, yeah,
Hotel.
yeah.
What was that? What was that about?
Well, it's Frank. I did a collab with a hotel, a newer hotel here in on the island down on Water Street called the Franklin Hotel.
Yeah.
Uh, Absolutely incredible. If you're looking for that East Coast vibe, but a little bit classy, like
Hmm.
a classy vibe, but like East Coast down home feel, Franklin
Hmm.
Hotel is where it's at, man. And
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that because I had a collab with them or whatever. I actually mean it. Like, you know, I'll go back there tomorrow.
Hmm.
So it's definitely stuff like that, man. Is so fun because like I get to represent something I believe in, work with, you know, incredible businesses and stuff like that is really fun to get out there and just promote and have fun with it, man. Because at the end of the day, like, let's be honest, way people do the social media stuff, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
business, but at the
Hmm.
same time, you do it because it's fun, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
So like, you know, your podcasts are amazing, you know, fun to have these podcasts and you do it because you love it. You do it because it's fun,
There
you
you
know?
go. Yeah. So right, man. Yo, before I get into the real talk questions,
Yeah.
before we recorded, we were talking about ball. So
Oh, yeah.
you play ball. How long have you been playing? Because you're 6'5". That's a nice height. That's a dunkable height. You could dunk probably, but
Oh, yeah. I could,
whew,
I,
you
I
could
could
throw
get up.
down.
I can throw down now, but I ruptured my Achilles, so
Oh.
I can't get up there like I could. But
Mhm.
I got to go have 2 feet now, and I was one leg jumper.
Yeah.
I mimicked LeBron best I could, right? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, man, I played ball my whole life since I've been 10 years old.
Mhm.
Played around Newfoundland, traveled Canada, met a lot of cool people. Got a signed Steve Nash rookie card, which is pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to play a couple NBA guys like Robert Scar and all these guys, and it was pretty fun, right? So, yeah, man, but at the same time, like if I never play, I can sit down and watch it all day long. Like I just
Yeah.
love being around the sport. I love being in the court. I love the sound of sneakers on the floor. I love the smell of fresh basketball. I love the sound of basketball hitting hardwood. I enjoy it. It's a passion of mine.
Yeah.
So I'll be like that 80-odd-year-old man just sitting at the court watching the young fellas
Yeah.
come.
Oh, so two things. First of all, we talked about this before the podcast, but I want to ask you how you felt about Hope because he had that Raptors
Oh,
photo shoot thing. But let the people know too. Did you love Toronto? You said right. You love Toronto Raptors, and you make your way down here when you can too, right?
bro, like honestly, I'm not just saying that for clout or whatever, but the six, Toronto is like my favorite city. I love it. Me and my wife and my son go there as much as we possibly can.
Mm.
I'm a diehard Raptors fan. I don't think you can be any more a fan of a sports team than what I am of the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
It's incredible, man. You know, I got to see Kawhi Leonard, I got to see DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry. I haven't got to see Scotty B yet. I'm really looking forward to that. Messiah, you know, I love Toronto. Like I honestly do. It's one of my favorite cities to be in. Every time I'm there, I have an incredible time. I'm sad to leave each and every time. So like if I was to move off the rock, it would definitely be to Toronto. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And then how did you feel when Hope got that photo shoot with the Raptors jersey on? You seen that, right?
Oh, bro. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen it. Yeah. I couldn't
Mm.
wait to see it. I said, well, first off, I told him, I was like, man, you look good in that. I was like, you look good in that jersey. Like,
Yeah.
you know, but it was so cool, man. I was so pumped for him that he was part of something like that. I mean, it's incredible, man. He got to be part. And like, I'm pretty sure he's worked with a couple of the guys like Pascal Siakam. Like he's met a lot of the Toronto Raptors. He's done a lot of work with like Red Bull and stuff. And so
Yeah.
like I was jealous of him, but I was proud of him at the same time. Like he's made for that. Like, he's you know you've talked to Hope. You got that
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
He's infectious, and like it's not, when you're around him, it's hard not to be amped up because like you vibe off him, right? So
Yeah.
he's definitely cut out for stuff like that, and his potential is through the roof. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I like the work that he does with kids too, man. So
Oh man,
yeah.
and that's what I told him in the house too. I was like, man, like that's incredible.
Mhm.
I was like, you know, not only are you, you know, working with the kids, man, like they love you and you're helping shape them into a better person for the future. Like they're looking at you being like, that's hope, and like watching your work ethic, watching your positive energy, and they're vibing off it, and that's helping build their character for things in the future. Because and these kids, like, you bring, kids or in sport is it's a beautiful thing, and when you put a good positive role model next to them, like it definitely helps shape the future.
Yeah. And for you now, when you walk out of your house, like, are you recognized now? Like, how is that feeling?
Oh, it's incredible, man. It's so cool. And yeah, definitely, man. I went to a wedding last weekend, and like I felt bad because like it just I got a lot of love. Like, and like
Yeah.
I'm so thankful for it because we could be gone in a heartbeat. But at the same time, like it makes me nervous because I'm like, oh, I hope I'm everything they thought I would be if they met me. You know what I mean? I hope I'm living up to the standard. I can't really think like that's a bad way to think, but because I can just be me. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's incredible. I'm very thankful for it. Definitely more recognizable for
Yeah.
sure. Get a lot of love, and I love the kids, man. The kids
Yeah.
come up to me, kids, and like the look on their faces, like they're meeting their hero.
Yeah.
So like, I'm just so incredibly thankful for that. Like, I think the first person to come up to me when I was on the show, after or during finale or after finale, was a kid, and like it was literally like he met his hero, and like I felt like I was meeting someone special to me because it meant so much to me, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's definitely really cool, really cool.
Yeah. You know what? Before I ask this question too, man, like this conversation is amazing. Um, because you just said something there. So I'm just wondering how you feel because you know who you are. You're not to you, you're not a star or you're not someone
Yeah,
special, right? But because you're on TV and you're in the show and you're so infectious and stuff, when you see a kid act like, wow, you're in front of me, what does that do to you though? Because it's you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you see yourself like that? And you know what I'm
yeah,
saying, right? Like that what they're getting. Do you just
yeah.
accept it and like, okay, yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? Why they're like this.
To be honest with you, everyone that says that to me or a kid or whatever, kind of like almost gives you superpowers in a
Mhm.
sense that it gives you the confidence you need to keep pushing forward. Because like I'm a human, man. Like anybody who says like they're always wake up like with self confidence and they're the shit or whatever, uh, there's times that they don't think like that. So
Yeah.
you need it. And like to be honest, like, let's be honest. Without fans, without the love and support, you don't have a show. Without
Mhm.
fans, love and support, you don't have a character.
Mhm.
The feel that I had love and support and fans and like getting that Canada's favorite vote gave me nothing but the utmost confidence in myself. Not to the point where I'm like cocky or arrogant,
Mhm.
but it gave me the sense of confidence that I should believe in myself and I can push forward and do things that I never thought I could do.
Yeah.
And this person believes in me. I owe it to them to keep pushing forward because
Mhm.
with them believing in me, I want to give them something to believe in. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
so it's I can't say it enough. Like when I do get love and support from anybody,
Mhm.
it's appreciated and I'm so thankful for it. I'm not just saying that like passive, like, oh, thank you, whatever.
Mhm.
I'm very, very grateful. If I have one fan, I'm very grateful for that one fan. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So mm.
Sweet, man. Thank you. Okay. Now let me mix this up, even though it doesn't matter. Because it depends on what you're choosing. The Star Scorpio question: Blue Jays or Raptors?
Rappers.
Mm.
Gotta go with the raps.
Name one challenging thing you had to overcome in life.
Uh probably oh wow, that's a one challenging thing I had to come overcome. I'd have to go with you know probably being a young dad, uh, being a young father for sure. In the sense of it's something I conquered and made me a better person. Is because like when you're I didn't have anything, in a sense that I didn't have a career, I didn't have a job. I was a young kid a snot nosed kid who thought I was invincible. So, but when I had my boy, I remember driving to see him, and I was so nervous, like my hands were shaking, and I was like, I'm not gonna be able to hold him, and I can be able to do this. Like I'm gonna be so scared. And when I held him for the first time, it was like my life changed forever. I knew my purpose. My purpose was to make sure that this boy has the best life possible that I can give him. So I was motivated for many, many, many years in that sense. And now where I'm stepping out of the ordinary and trying to step into an industry and a profession that I don't know much about, and I'm learning and I'm trying to push forward. My son, who's now 13, believes in me. He sees it, and he supports me, and we have such a close bond and relationship. So, like, like I said in the house, is like, sometimes you can feel like you're taking it on the chin, and you're taking L's after L's and losses. You're going to get your win. Your win is coming. Like, it does. It might not come tomorrow, but you keep pushing forward. You're going to get your win. You know what I mean? You might lose 100 times before you get that win, but you're going to get it. So my win right now is I'm at a point in my life where I'm comfortable. I'm happy. I have a beautiful family, and my son is a grown young man. And I did it when I held him for the first time, and I focused in, and to right now, and I can look at it and say I did it. So it was very challenging, but very rewarding.
Wow. Thanks for sharing. Okay.
No problem.
We're on the last part of the show now. Right.
Yeah.
3 balloons. Now, as everyone knows, I donate to a charity after every episode. And the 3 in the balloons is Claws, Kawartha Lakes Animal Wellness Society, the Fundraiser Warriors, and Make-A-Wish Foundation. So, Jonathan, we'll see which one I'm donating to. $100. So if anyone's seen my Pac-Man challenge, I'll be donating $100 to the charity that Jonathan chooses. Which one? Left, middle, or right?
Check out the Pac-Man things. So entertaining, by the way. But it's hilarious. It's awesome. But the middle one. I gotta go with the middle. And cut the middle, you know what I mean?
Cut the middle. Let's do this. You're not gonna hear the pop. Like some of my guests say they can't hear the pop.
Oh, I heard a little bit of it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Season 7, episode 9. Star Scorpio, we will be donating to. Oh, wow. Back to back. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it.
Oh, Make-A-Wish. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, Jonathan, thank you for coming out today. Let the people know where they can find you.
Well, you can catch me on Instagram at Jonathan BBCan11, TikTok Jonathan Leonard 11, and that's pretty much it for right now. I mean, you can get me on Twitter at Jonathan BBCan11 as well. Follow me on my social media platforms, and let's keep going. Let's keep pushing forward. And I'm so thankful for each and every one of you fans that supported me during the show and support me now. Honestly, like, from the bottom of my heart, like, I honestly so thankful. I wish I could get together with each and every one of you and just, chalk it up and tell you how thankful I truly am. So let's keep going. Let's keep rocking and keep pushing forward.
Let's go. I really appreciate you coming out today. Oh man, I don't even want to end it, but this is season 7, Real Talk with Star Scorpio with Jonathan, and we out.